Hello guys, today I will be presenting a demo on Oracle Hyperion EPM and specifically on the Oracle Hyperion planning module. So let's get started. Myself. So I have done a bachelor's in engineering in information technology, and I have around 10 years of industry experience, and that is in Oracle Enterprise Performance Management, in Hyperion planning, and as well as in other modules. And right now I'm working as a Hyperion lead in a very big manufacturing company based out of India. So my practical roles and responsibilities month to month is like management and operations of the data flow from all the ERP systems, GL system to Hyperion EPM system, and then coordinating the monthly accounting close process, administrating the Hyperion system, including the database, Hyperion planning module, any metadata changes, to ensure a stable and optimized financial planning and reporting environment. So that's a short introduction on me, and let's get started with Oracle Hyperion system. So in today's demo, the scope is just to introduce to you what is actually Oracle Hyperion EPM, okay, what is the terminology, and then I will give a short introduction on the planning module, and then a fact check on the job market, the market competitors, etc. So Oracle Hyperion Performance Management, or popularly known as Hyperion or EPM in the corporate world. So whenever you hear this terminology like Hyperion or EPM, it is actually referring to enterprise performance management. Okay. So let me give you a brief history on how this terminology came and how this company came. So I think in around 1981, the company started with Argus software. Okay. Then the Hyperion software, they both merged, and then Oracle took it over. And now it is called as Oracle Hyperion Enterprise Performance Management System. So basically the clubbing of two companies was taken by Oracle, and then they are running the product now. They are running the support, running the product, running any upgrade releases, anything. So that's the name. And you should be familiar with the name Hyperion or EPM. Okay. So what is Hyperion? Okay. So inside Oracle Hyperion, there are various modules. Okay. Some of them I have listed down here. Say Oracle Hyperion Planning. Okay. Oracle Hyperion S-Base, Oracle Hyperion Financial Management, which is popularly known as HFM, and then Oracle Hyperion Financial Data Management Enterprise Edition, which is popularly known as FDME. So these terms S-Base, HFM, FDME, planning, this all terms you will hear in our training. Okay, and also if you go in the corporate world, you want to hear these words, right? And so today's demo is specific about the Hyperion planning and what is the course structure and how the training is going to look like. Okay, so let me tell you also, there are like similar products or competitor of Oracle Hyperion. Why I'm telling you this all, because it gives you an overall picture of what is this software, who are the competitors, why did it came, and what is the use of it. Okay, so basically let me tell you like who all are the competitors here. So there are company IBM, SAP. They are also running the same product, okay, with different look and feel, and there are pros and cons of all the products. Okay, so some of them listed are like Anaplan, OneStream, SAP, Tagetic, Board, IBM Planning. So these all are the competitors of Oracle in this planning software. And just to tell you, like Oracle in the planning world, it leads on the top of the all its competitor. So around they have like 1300 to 1500 customers base. So that's like it's a long term contract for them. You can see so many communications all around, communications, media, consumer technology, everywhere they are there. So a company wants to analyze its financials, they want to do its planning, forecasting, they use Oracle Hyperion. So such a huge customer base, and that's why it is so popular tool, so successful tool, and there are so many job opportunities around it. This is brief about what is Oracle Enterprise Performance Management and what are the modules in it. Now I'll just give you an introduction on what is Oracle Hyperion Planning on one of the module. So what is Oracle Hyperion Planning? So it is basically a centralized planning, budgeting, and forecasting solution, okay, that integrates operational and financial planning process and improves business decisions. So what does that mean? So what I have done is I have created a table, okay. I don't want to introduce you to the directly how this software works in the corporate world. I'm giving an example over here. This is how planning, forecasting happens in our real time, okay. So say you have got your pocket money on September 1st, okay, and say your mom gave you 100 rupees, okay. So this 100 rupees which you got on September 1st, it's also called as budget in the corporate world. A company has a budget for everything. When a company starts, they will have some budget. Say they have a 1 lakh rupees budget. Out of that 1 lakh, how do they want to spend it? How do they want to plan it? Say for the employee salary, they want to give out 30,000 out of 1 lakh. Say the IT part, they have to spend 20,000, and similarly on the food 10,000. So that is all called planning. Okay, so let's take an example here. So suppose your mom gave you 100 rupees, that is a budget. Okay, this number will be big when you are in a corporate world and when you are doing planning for a corporate. So out of 100, okay, what you thought is you will spend 50 rupees on food, 30 rupees on movie, and 20 rupees on transport. Okay, this is called planning. Like your mom gave you 100 rupees, and what you have planned on September 1st is how do you want to spend this money? 50 on food, 30 on movie, and 20 on transport. So that sums up to 100 rupees. That is what you thought on September 1st. Okay, and when September 30th came on the end of the month, so then you actually calculated it, how much actually I have spent it. So actual money spent as on September 30th. So this is something called actuals. So this term which I've highlighted, you will hear most of the time throughout the training. And in the corporate world also, they uses this word budget, actuals, planning, forecast, this and all. So you should be familiar with it. Okay. So let's get on to the actual money spent as on September 30th. Okay. So say you have decided to spend 50 rupees. Okay. But actually the money spent on food was 45 rupees. Okay. So you thought 50, but the actual amount was 45. Similarly on movie, suppose you thought 30, but there was some discount and you just got it for 25. Okay. Similarly for transport, the budget was 28. Okay. The planning was 20, and then you have spent also 20. So that is also good. Okay. So when you total up this amount, it comes up to 90 rupees, right? So basically your budget was 100 rupees. You planned for 100 rupees, but the actual amount spent was 90 rupees. So what you do with this 10 rupees now? Okay. So if I go on the right side here, okay, a company budget was 1 lakh. Okay. They spent 50,000 on salary, 10,000 on food, 10,000 on miscellaneous expenses, and some amount was left, okay, on the actuals part. So what they do is now they bring out their financial guy, okay, they ask, okay, we have planned for this much amount and our 10 rupees is saved. How can we use the 10 rupees, right? If you so that means that 10 rupees shouldn't be there, right? Because what you have planned should be in the actual thing. If you have an extra amount, that means that is a bad planning. That is not a good planning. That's why we use Oracle Hyperion Planning to plan our expenditures. So what will happen is, okay, so 30th September is finished. Now 1st October came, okay. So this time you thought that, okay, let me plan or let me forecast that for the next few months, like October, November, and December, I will spend what amount? The last actual amount of the last month. Okay, say I've spent on 45 on food. So this time I will plan 45 on food. I won't plan 50 on food because I know that this only amount was spent and the movie was 25, transport was 20, right? So now I am doing a better planning over here. Okay. And the remaining 10 amount, what I can do is on October 1st, I can just book an FD, or I can just put it into my bank to generate an interest for that 1 month. So that is a good planning, right? And now it sums up to your actual budget. So in the corporate world, it never happens that your budget and your forecast numbers are same, or your actuals and forecast numbers are same. But what you do is, month on month, you keep on changing the numbers here. Suppose there was an offer in the movie. Okay, the next month there was some offer on the food, so you dropped that food amount to again to 40 rupees. So you keep on changing the numbers every month. Okay, and you plan on the very first day. And this practical example is just, I'm telling month on month wise, but in the corporate world, what happens is, starting of the year, okay, what they will do is they will do a planning for the whole year. They will do the budgeting for the whole year. Okay. And there are n number of planning, okay, like 1 year plan, 2 year plan, 3 year plan. So it depends. Like basically, most of the company, they use a 3 year plan. Okay. And that is called long range planning. Okay, suppose a company is doing a 1 year plan, that's normally called forecasting. So this is the practical example of what is a planning. And this screen which you are looking right over here, so this is how the software looks like. So you have this planning administration here. Okay, you have this is called workspace. Whatever you do, it is inside this workspace. So in the later part of the training, we can understand how to navigate this workspace, how to create a planning application, and all, etc. So briefly, this was just an example of how the Hyperion planning looks like. Okay. So coming back to the first slide here. Okay. So what we have discussed is what is Oracle Hyperion planning. Okay. And then there are similar products called SBase, HFM, and financial data management, which we are not covering in this training, but we can give you an overview and highlights of what it is. So SBase is basically all the data which is there in planning gets stored in this database called SBase. So this numbers here, whatever you see here, okay, this needs to be stored somewhere, right? So it is stored in another application called SBase. This is just like a database, okay, but not your SQL database, or not your RDBMS. This is a multi-dimensional database. And then there is a third product called HFM, Hyperion Financial Management. So this is basically used for external reporting. Okay, suppose any of these company which are listed in the stock market, they have to publish reports quarterly, annually, right? And how do they do it? They do it through this Hyperion Financial Management. Okay. And then there is a fourth product called FDMEE. So this is basically what it does is, this is a data management tool. Okay. This basically brings all your data into the Hyperion planning from another source. Say you suppose, say Walmart has a shop. Okay. So from that shop, they have a billing software. From that billing software, what they will have is, they will have the details of all the customers, what are the sales, what are the expenses. So those data will be in another software. And to bring that data into Hyperion planning, we will use this FDME tool. So this is just a brief on all the tools. Okay, there are various other tools also which I have not covered here. uh, these are the main four tools which is generally used company wide. So let's go to the course structure. So this is the course outline which I have designed. Okay, so in this course outline, I will introduce to Oracle EPM Hyperion planning. Okay, again, and that introduction I will do it into an Excel sheet to get more understanding of what does the planning looks like. And then we will go ahead with navigating the EPM workspace. So this is the workspace. What are the tools, menus, what are the icons over here, what does this menu do? So we will navigate through that. And then I will introduce to you to the applications and the dimensions which is used in planning. Okay, and further we will go down to creating the application in the planning administration. So if you can see here, this is the planning administration, and then manage application, and then we will see how to create a planning application. After that, we will go down to managing dimensions. Then there are number of dimensions. Okay, say one of them is entities. We will get an overview of all the dimensions like entities, accounts, scenarios, versions. So these all are dimensions, and this all makes a planning application. After that, what we will do is we will go to creating forms. Okay, and this all we will understand what it is, right? Then entering the data, how does the data gets entered into the planning? Okay, and then setting up exchanges rate. Okay, then creating smart list, setting up the application settings. So this topic can go on, right? And I have generally listed out the separated the topics so that we can understand better. And then annotating and analyzing the data, creating task list menus, setting up the workflow, managing the approval process. And then this fourth category comes as managing business rules and user variables. So this is basically a calculation where we will write some calculation script. Okay, this is the part where little bit of scripting comes, where you will see how do you basically, suppose I want to copy this data into this for from September to October. So how do I write a script to copy this data from here to here? So that is basically explained in this business rules. And after that, the fifth category is I'll introduce you to the smart view. Okay, what is smart view is, this is basically an Excel based add-in, right? So in the accountancy world, finance people, they generally tend to use Excel sheet, right? Even for your personal calculation of finance, you use Excel sheet. So to equip Excel sheet with Hyperion planning, so Oracle has come up with an extra add-in which you can install inside the Excel sheet. Okay, and what you can do is, the way you open the data in this web-based URL, right? You can open that same data in your Excel sheet. That we will get to learn how to do that, and that is called smart view. After this, the sixth category is the lifecycle management, right? So in the lifecycle management, we will understand the technical part of planning. How does the planning, like suppose for this month you want to save a backup of the planning data, you want to migrate the changes. So there is dev environment, production environment, test environment. So how do you migrate that? So that is called a lifecycle management. How do you manage the life cycle of this application? And the last part, what I want to introduce you is, I will introduce you to various technical forms, right? The troubleshooting methodologies, right? Where when you start supporting the planning application in a corporate world, how do you come across issues and how do you troubleshoot? And then some real-time scenarios where I'll tell you, I'll explain a project where how actually this so this all part we will be creating and playing with the planning application, right? But in real-time scenarios, how it is being used. So that is part of that session. The last part is I will introduce you to some how to prepare for the interview, right? And if you need any support on the interview part, and I can brief counsel on your salary. How can you uplift the salary? What is the general salary which is given to Oracle Hyperion guys, right? And I can give a brainstorming and check on your career ladder where you can actually move forward after going through this course. And then I can help you with the planning certification. There is a planning certification by Oracle, right? And how can you pass that exam, and how valuable is that, and how that can basically I can create your resume based on the training, this training material. So this is a brief course outline, and there will be subtopics to every big topic here, right? So add-on topics. These are all the planning topics, and then these are the add-on topics. So add-on topics means all the technical forums, which I have already told you, real-time scenarios, preparing the interview, preparing the certification, salary upliftment, brainstorming, right? So these are all the add-on topics which helps a candidate in cracking the interview or getting a learning path, how they can success in their career, right? And then we will do some projects, like, so we will set up a planning application. Okay, how we will do a project on executing certain business rules to copy data from one scenario to another. So this scenario means from actual to budget, budget to forecast, right? So we will do the project on that, and then we will we might go to a project for building a report and using Excel and using Smart View. So this will cover up all the things which you should learn about Hyperion planning. Okay, so for the lab setup, what you need is you need a good high-speed internet and a desktop or a laptop. Anything is fine. Okay, and the system requirements, you need to have a Firefox browser or an Internet Explorer. Both are fine. And then you need to have a Office Microsoft Excel installed in your laptop. And this is the third software, Oracle SmartView add-in. So this one, in the later part of training, I will give you a link where you can download this software and install it. So this is basically installed inside Excel, and that is how you can connect to the Hyperion planning. And you don't need to install Hyperion planning in your system. That will be through a web-based URL. I will provide you a URL with a username and password. So from that, you will basically log into this workspace. So here I'm logged in as admin. So there I'll give you a username and password where you can log in into this workspace, right? So you don't need to install directly on your laptop. Practically you can do it, but you need a minimum of 16 GB RAM to install the Hyperion software inside your laptop. And it is freely available for educational purpose. It is chargeable only when you are using it for a corporate. So this is basically on the lab setup which we will be doing. And then let me give you an additional course resources, right? So this is just an example of some of the course resources which you can use, advanced level training or further data and integrity on the planning part. And then what I will do is I'll prepare you for the mock interviews. We can take up a mock interview to see what you have learned and what questions can come up for the interview, or in generally, basically it's to check how good you have learned. So these are some of the questions, and in the later part of training we will provide more, and there are various links to the interviews which come up. And then finally, on the certifications, I will guide you on how to prepare for the Oracle planning certification, right? And also we will be giving a course completion certificate from MindMajix. So this is a valuable certificate and in the market, right? Thank you.